G'day legends, welcome back to Out and About Australia. So today we are going to be trying to get the most out of our Travel Buddy oven by putting in a $30 15 volt step up converter. I just want to quickly show you guys what a step up converter is. Now, a step up converter is basically just a voltage transformer. It's going to transform your voltage from one value to another. So in our case, we've got 12 volt DC input and 15 volt DC output. Right, so the main reason that you would run a Travel Buddy oven with a step-up converter is basically just to bump the voltage up to 15 volts so the Travel Buddy runs hotter. Now, if you've ever used a Travel Buddy before or you've got one of your own, you'd know that the Travel Buddy is designed to be used while the car is driving. Now, just because the Travel Buddy runs more efficiently, it doesn't mean that there's not going to be any losses. If you're interested in numbers, the guys over at Lock Your Hubs 4 Driving did a really good in-depth video of the sort of losses that you can expect with the step-up converter. They go through and map the heat of the Travel Buddy, the power losses that come from their battery, and run everything through a unit almost exactly the same as the one that I've got here today. So if you're interested in that video, I'll link it down there in the description box below and you can go and have a look at that after this one. First thing we've got to do is get everything ready. Make sure your oven is going to be suited for 15 volt DC. Disconnect the Travel Buddy from 12 volt power. Next thing we need to do is identify where we're going to install our 15 volt step up converter. So for us, a good spot is going to be right here on the back of the fridge box. Now there is a void behind the fridge box, so you're going to have no heating on the back side of this board from the fridge, and it's also going to allow the heatsink to dissipate any heat made by the step up converter straight up and out into the canopy. And once you've picked where you're going to put your step-up converter, it's time to wire it up. So in our case, we're going to be running Anderson plugs on both the input and output terminals of the step-up converter. Just going to make it easier for us if we ever do want to go back and use the 12 volt function and run it straight off the battery system, we can go ahead and do that as well. If you haven't seen Anderson plugs being wired up, they're really easy to do. Simply just crimp and push in. The next step in the process is going to be finding where you're going to run your power back from your battery. So in our case, we're pretty lucky. We've got an Anderson plug running back to our fuse block already, but if you didn't already have this, you could just run a cable from your battery or fuse block somewhere that is protected and plug this straight into your step-up converter. I've chosen to go to a 20 amp fuse, being that 15 amps, if it does for whatever reason pull at an actual 15 amps constantly, it may blow fuses more often than it needs to. All of our cables are rated at over 20 amps, so that will give us way more protection than we actually need. The Travel Buddy ovens actually come with the cigarette plug with the removable end to suit a Merit plug. Now, if you've never seen inside of these, I just thought I'd give you a quick little look. These things are actually really easy to take apart. One screw, quickly just take that off, take it out, take the Merit plug end off, and this is what it looks like inside. So this is what the inside of one of these Merit cigarette plugs actually look like. You can see you've got your cable coming in, active just into the terminal here, negative to the terminal over here, and a 15 amp mini fuse as well. Now the only thing left to do is just wire an Anderson plug on the end and we are good to go. And there you have it, that's pretty much the whole install. So you've got your power coming in on this Anderson plug here, goes through the step-up converter, comes out on your output cables here, the yellow and black, and powers up the Travel Buddy. So straight into the Anderson plug here. I've just swapped that over from the cigarette plug over to the Anderson, and now straight into the Travel Buddy. Before you power this sort of stuff up, you always should go through and make sure that you're getting the right result from this output side. So I'm going to quickly chuck a multimeter on this side here before I actually go and turn the unit on. So just in numbers terms, I reckon it's going to be somewhere around a 50% increase in your power. And you guys can see it is a significant increase in power. So this thing is actually pulling out just over 14 amps now. That is a massive increase in power. Yes, it's going to get a lot hotter, but that's going to be a way bigger power draw on your battery system, especially if you're not driving the vehicle. Alright, so you guys should have been able to see by the way that I wired up the step-up converter, I can hook the Travel Buddy up in both 12 volt and 15 volt configurations just by plugging in the Anderson plug a little bit differently. So I thought a good little test to do just to show you guys what kind of differences there are going to be in temperature. So we're going to preheat the Travel Buddy for 45 minutes straight off the lithium battery, and then we'll let it cool down again, get it back to room temperature, and then we'll preheat the oven again off the 15 volt step-up converter. To measure how hot we get the Travel Buddy, I've placed an analog oven thermometer right in the center of the Travel Buddy oven. So in 45 minutes, we're going to come out and check exactly what that's sitting at. All right, so the Travel Buddy is now hooked up directly to the battery system, so no step-up converter in place. So let's turn it on and see how hot this thing will get at full ball over 45 minutes. Righto, so you can see there that the Travel Buddy got up to about 100 degrees. So all we've got to do now is let it cool back down again, hook the step-up converter up, and then test it again for another 45 minutes. So set the test up exactly the same way, oven thermometer right in the middle of the Travel Buddy. Only difference is we've connected the step-up converter back in, so we're going to be running it at 15 volt. Alright, so it's been 45 minutes. Let's open this thing up and see what it's sitting at. And this is a massive difference. So we've opened the door up, you can see right there it's 150 degrees, so a 50% increase in heat in the same time frame that we got straight off the lithium battery system. And yes, we are producing 50% more heat, but that's also going to mean more power. So for reference for you guys, we're pulling about 14 amps now, which is nearly double the amount of power we were doing before we started this test. Right, okay, so there you have it. Travel Buddy is all set up with the step-up converter, ready to cook while we're out camping, and you don't even have to run your car while you're using it. I hope this video has helped you out. If it has, don't forget to leave it a like and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you want to see more DIY videos like the one you've just watched, check out the video on screen now, and I'll see you over there.